Ciao, I'm Adriano, and I live in Milan. And so today, I would like to give you 3 pros and 3 cons of living in Milan. First pro, it's a pretty cool city. I know this may sound a bit broad, but what I mean is that it gives you a lot of options. Generally speaking, I would say this city has a lot to offer, whether in terms of amounts of restaurants, bars, the nightlife is very cool, but then you have a lot of activities going on. For instance, you have many museums, theaters. Speaking of theaters, if you have the chance, you should definitely come once and see a show at La Scala. Another thing is that the transport system in Milan is quite reliable, which is not always the case in Italy. And of course we are in the epicenter of Italian fashion and design. So shopping is also a big thing here in Milan. The city is pretty clean and in general the services work. So yeah, it's a pretty cool city. But of course all of this comes at a cost. And the first cons is therefore Milan is expensive as And this you can see it in the very small things, for instance grabbing a coffee or a pizza slice as opposed to other Italian cities, but especially when it comes to housing. Both in terms of rent as well as in terms of buying a house. Just to give you an idea, if you're looking to rent a 1-bedroom apartment in a central area in Milan, you're looking between 1,000 to 1,200 euros. Then of course you can rent rooms which will be a bit cheaper, but in general keep in mind that Milan is expensive. You know, most people have this idea of Italy being very affordable, very cheap, and in many cases it's a lot cheaper than other countries here in Europe, but Milan, forget it. Now let's go back to some of the cool things about Milan. Second pro, its position. Milan is found in the northern part of Italy. It's close to so many things. You have the mountains, which are like an hour drive away from here. You have the lakes, the beach, which is not too far in Liguria. And then you also have the high-speed train, which connects you to all of the other major cities in Italy. Right now we are at the train station, Stazione Centrale, and if I look at the departures right now, within the next hour we could go to Naples, Rome, to the mountains next to Turin. Its position gives you a lot of options in terms of escaping. And this is very important because the second cons is that Milan is freaking polluted. Recently, the air in Milan is one of the worst that we have here in Italy. This is mainly due to the fact that it's quite close to industrial areas around the city and also traffic. And if you combine this with the fact that in Milan there's usually very little wind, the air can get quite bad. Well, today there's so much wind, by the way. But usually there's not this much wind. Coming to the third pro, forgot it. Oh yeah. It's very international. What I mean by that is that it is probably the most diverse city in Italy. And this you can see it in different fields. You have so many different cuisines, you have different international schools, international businesses. The majority of people in services in Milan speak English, so conversation should not be too much of an issue. You have 3 airports which connect you to the whole world, so you can really breathe this sense of internationality. But at the same time, and here we come to the last cons, the fact that it's so international, I believe, makes it a bit less authentic than other Italian cities. For instance, I'm from Rome, and whenever I go in Rome, there's something intangible, so vibrant, so Italian, which to me is a bit less apparent here in Milan. So would I recommend living in Milan? Well, it depends what you're looking for. If you're looking for an Italian city which has a strong international vibe, sure, go for it. But if you're looking for a more genuine, authentic Italian experience, well, I would say you have other cities to opt for. See you next time.